Welcome to Data Sentinel. This will be an overview of Data Sentinel's layout as well as some of its basic features. Down the road we'll publish additional videos and tutorials that go into Data Sentinel's features in greater detail. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing to know is that Data Sentinel uses Windows authentication in order to log in. This ensures for a secure environment, and it's also a very familiar environment for the users. You'll notice that Data Sentinel is divided into multiple windows. The upper left window that we see here is the user's home working folder. The user's home working folder is where the user works. He can create files, modify files, create folders. He can manage his data. He can organize it in a way that he chooses. The window in the middle, on the other hand, is the control directory. The control directory is managed by Data Sentinel. It's also managed by a database. Users cannot directly edit or modify any of the files in the control directory. The only way to modify these files in the control directory is by first checking them out into your working folder, modify them in your working folder, and then checking them back into the control directory. This is all controlled by and managed by a database that Data Sentinel uses. The window on the far right is a window that slides open and closed, like this. The basic function of this window is to browse through the different projects. It's an easy and quick way of changing projects and folders and looking at data. We'll leave it open for now. The window on the bottom left is the document viewer. The document viewer is used to quickly view different files. It will view spreadsheets, PowerPoints, Word documents, PDFs. It'll view 3D XML files, CGR files, 3D PDF files. It'll view text files, VB files, and other programming files, HTML files. There's a long list of files the document viewer can view. In addition to these windows, you'll notice that there are toolbars above both the user's working folder here, and there are also a toolbar above the control directory. These toolbars contain buttons that allow the users to perform certain actions. Not all users will have all these buttons available to them. Data Sentinel manages what the user can access internally. Data Sentinel has a set of internal permissions that control what users will see on this particular toolbar. For example, not all users will have the release button. Not all users will have a delete button. Not all users will be able to lock or unlock data. Data Sentinel will control this through its internal permissions. So now let's briefly cover the document viewer. The document viewer is something that has been recently added to Data Sentinel. It can be either in its minimal form, as you see here. So as you're browsing through different documents, it shows up in the viewer below. And you can rapidly and quickly view different file types. The other format you can have it in is you can have it in its partial view. The partial view shows the viewer plus a window to the right that you can quickly and rapidly navigate through. You'll see that the files show up very rapidly and quickly within the viewer on the left. The other view that's available is the full view. And in the full view, again, it shows everything without the ability to navigate through the files. But it's easier to see the files. We'll leave it in the partial view for now. Additional files that are available for viewing, like I've talked about previously, are 3D PDFs, which you see here. It allows you to rotate and manipulate the data within the viewer as well. Other ones that are available are PowerPoints. PowerPoints, again, you can page through the PowerPoints. Another document that is available are Word documents, text documents. You have the 3D XML documents that I talked about previously. Again, this is another engineering document, but it is available to be viewed, which allows you to rotate the objects around. It allows you to look at trees and navigate through the different parts, hide and show parts. Very convenient. So that's the viewer. The viewer, I'll go ahead and minimize it for now. There we go. And I'll go ahead and switch to a different document for now. Alright, so that's some of the basic layout, some of the basic features. In order to open a file, you simply double click on the file. For example, if you want to open this PDF here, you double click on it, and it opens the document for viewing within Adobe, separately in Adobe Reader. Also, you can double click on any of the other files, text files, Word documents. If you double click on a Word document, it opens Word. If you double click on a PowerPoint document, it will open PowerPoint, and so forth. One of the basic features that Data Sentinel relies on, I'm going to go ahead and close out the viewer for now. In order to modify data, like I said, Data Sentinel relies on this process of checking data in and checking data out. For example, if you wanted to modify this document here for house plans, you would first select it in the control directory, and you can multi-select files. It can be more than one file, but we'll just use one file for now. You check it out, and over here it shows up in your working directory. You then can open it up and work on it in your working directory, modify it, save it, and then once you're done with it, you check it back in. What this allows you to do is that when, for example, this blue icon here, all the blue icons show that these files are checked out to me. And you can see who's gotten checked out by the username over here in this user column. But anyway, once it's checked out by me, no other user can modify that file. No other user can check it out and change it. Only I can. Once it's checked back in, then it's available again to be checked out and modified by others. Another convenient thing about this is that Data Sentinel does track all revisions, all versions, document history, as well as archived file, and you can pull up any of those at any time that you want. Another feature is that you're able to lock data. For example, let's say you were working on a document and you wanted to lock it down so that no one can check it out and modify it. You simply highlight it, hit the lock button, the icon turns red, which means it's locked. At this point, no one can check this file out and modify it. It's secure. Another feature is that you can actually release the file, and this allows you to, once you've released it, the only way to change it is to check out a new revision of the file. And this is another way of controlling and managing the data. So that's some of the basic features of Data Sentinel, some of the basic layouts, like I said. And the only other thing that I would like to mention here is that this is not a software solely for aerospace companies. And by the way, there are several large aerospace companies currently using this software. But it's a software that can be used by small, mid-size, or large companies, both engineering, aerospace, manufacturing. It could be used by publication companies. It could be used by software companies doing programming. It could be used by schools and governments. It could be used by sales. There's unlimited use of this, and it allows you to secure your data and to maintain the integrity of your data. Again, if you want to know any more about this, simply go to our website. You can find our phone number and the email for contacts. Feel free to get a hold of us and ask us more information on the software, and we'll be glad to get back to you. And that'll be it for now. Until next time, and again, look for additional tutorials down the road that will go into more detail, and we'll publish those on our website as well.